I'm James Mitchell, and I want to welcome you to the Oracle Outlook. In this video, I'll be doing an angel card reading for the week starting April the 18th, 2016, so stay tuned. And here we are with the cards on the table, and when I do an angel card reading, I like to use 3 decks. So for this reading, I'm going to be using from left to right. I'm going to be pulling a card from the Archangel Oracle cards, and this is going to serve as the foundational energy for the week. And then I'm going to pull 3 cards from the daily guidance from your Angels Oracle cards. And then I'm going to round out the reading by pulling a card from the Archangel Power Tarot cards. And turning my attention to the Archangel Oracle cards, I'm going to take the cards in hand. I'm going to shuffle. And as I'm shuffling, I'm asking, what do we need to know about the week ahead? What does Spirit want us to know? What do the angels want us to know in terms of possibilities? And also to how we can move through the challenges we might experience this week. I'm always asking Spirit for the messages that are going to be uplifting, inspiring, and for our best and highest good. So as I'm shuffling, I'm looking for a card to stick out. This is the card I'm going to select. And the card is All is Well. Okay, so the first thing that I get with All is Well is that I look at the image, and the angel on the card has a swirling energy going on about him. So for some of us this week, we may have a lot going on. We may be in a place where we have just a lot going on and we're having to put a lot of energy into that. So I always look at that. The first thing that I want to say is that this is Archangel Jeremiah, and so when I see Archangel Jeremiah is the angel of life review. So this week the energy is that we're being asked to do what I call an inventory. So this is about moving into a place in life. Despite the fact that we may have a lot going on, we're being asked to do a personal inventory. You know, everything that has brought us to this place that we're at in the present moment has something that we need to learn about ourselves. So when this card comes up, it's about asking where we are and what has brought us to this place and what have we learned as a result of that. And the reason being is because in addition to looking at where we are and what has brought us to this point, we may be about to embark on a new direction or adopting a new lease on life. And with that, we may be asked to take an inventory and with that, looking at what is working for us, what may be no longer working for us, and it's about looking at that from an honest place. I call this the honest self-evaluation card. So it could be that we may need to really be honest with ourselves in terms of our direction at this point in time and where we would like to go. What are the changes that we may need to be making, and what is going to help us best make those decisions or take those courses of actions, because I sometimes see this as a decisive call to action card. So a lot of things. So we could be taking a pause. If we have a lot going on in terms of a lot of energy, we may need to take a pause and just ask ourselves, is this the kind of energy, the kind of whirlwind that we want to be in? And if not, what can we do to change that? As well as looking at where we are in relation to where we have been, because again, I'm seeing that this is about looking at the progress that we've made, as well as looking at where we are now in relation to where we would like to be in the future. So the card reads, everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to. With hidden blessings you will soon understand. And so that is the foundational energy this week. It is all is well, and the angel that is assisting us this week is Archangel Jeremiah. And the way that Archangel Jeremiah wants to work with us is by helping us understand there is a lesson and a blessing in everything that we've experienced that has brought us to this present moment, because we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for those former things. So again, this is all is well and Archangel Jeremiah. And now, turning my attention to the daily guidance from your Angels Oracle cards, I'm going to draw 3. Taking the deck in hand and I'm shuffling, keeping with the question about what do we need to know for our best and highest good. It's going to inspire and uplift us. I'm looking for 3 cards to stick out. First card is going to represent the beginning of the week. Shuffling again. Second card is going to represent the middle of the week. And shuffling once more. Third card is going to represent the end of the week. Okay. So now for the beginning of the week, our card is Life Purpose. This is perfect in light of what I said about Archangel Jeremiah helping us do an inventory and helping us move forward. The Life Purpose card comes up when part of that direction that we're seeking is we're aligning ourselves more fully with what our life purpose is. And of course, the angel that can assist us with that is Archangel Michael, because Archangel Michael is the chief angel that helps us gain clarity and also helps that clarity or the information that we get by becoming more clear that aligns us with our life purpose. So at the beginning of the week, as we're moving through the assistance or the energy of the assistance of Archangel Jeremiah in helping us about moving forward, those of us who are wanting to be more in alignment with our life purpose, if we take the time and the energy to not get so preoccupied and distracted by what's going on around us, which was the energy that I was seeing around the angel on the All Is Well card. If we take time to really take a pause and do that inventory, that could help us become more clear on what our life purpose is, especially if we ask and invite Archangel Jeremiah and Archangel Michael to be part of the process. I'm looking at the picture on the card, so what's going to be helpful is a time of prayer and meditation, because there are 4 angels in the background on the card, and 2 are in prayer, and 2 look like they're contemplating or in their meditation. And of course, the central figure, the man here in the middle, he also looks like he's sitting in meditation, but what he's doing is he's actually writing. So it could be that for some of us, we could go about the process of journaling. That is a time of self-reflection, of contemplation. It could be that if you take the time to pray and meditate, then you're being asked to journal whatever information that comes through your prayer and meditation time. It could also be, too, that specifically someone's life purpose, or some of us watching this video, your life purpose actually does involve writing. So it could be that you are being asked to put pen to paper, put your thoughts on paper, and start getting whatever it is that you need to write about, start the process of getting that done. Now I'm looking at the hourglass here in the front of the card, as well as behind the gentleman, etched into the panel in the back is a clock. And so we have 2 references to time here. So again, that could be the past, going what's behind the man, and the future, what's in front of him. But in terms of the writing process, is that we have to commit to setting some time aside in order for that prayer and meditation. Because the longer that we keep ourselves preoccupied and distracted, and we're always on the go and we're always running, we may be missing that information that could come through in moments of quiet and solitude. So I'm seeing that. So at the beginning of the week, we're being asked to look at what our life purpose is and what it could be. The card reads, the purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and others. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus upon serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you. So it could be like if you've been struggling, for lack of a better word, with this question, like, why am I here? What is my purpose? It could be just going about serving people in the way that they need to be served, and as you go about the business of doing that, you become clear on what your purpose is. Sometimes what it is that we can be kind of wrapped up in that question and in ourselves, and so sometimes the best way to come clear on that is to kind of take the focus off of yourself and put it on other people. And so this way you could say at the beginning of the week, what do I need to know or do in order to be of service? Or who is it that needs me to be of a help and assistance to them? Or who is it that I can serve based on where I'm at right now at this moment in time? It could also be, if you take the time to do your inventory, you may discover a pattern or a thread, because now I'm seeing Archangel Jeremiah in my head holding a thread. So it could be like, if you look at your past in terms of your inventory, you might see a thread that connects all the things that you have been involved in up until now. And you may see something that stands out. I call it the common denominator. So you might see what your common denominator is, and that helps you in terms of informing you what your purpose is and how you can move in that direction more fully. So I'm seeing that at the beginning of the week. In the middle of the week, we have relationship. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking at is I'm looking at the angel on the relationship card facing the characters on the life purpose card. So it's saying there is a relationship here between what I just said about where you are presently. So let's look at this. So if this is the present, let's say you're right here, right now. This card, with the imagery, the way it's going, is saying there is a direct relationship or connection to where you are now in relation to what you've done in the past. And so you're being asked to really take a good look at that, because you may discover something. Now, the angel is on a unicorn, and so for me, the unicorn represents two things. First off, being a horse, it could represent progress because the angel's on the horse. So it could be, riding a horse, and that means, making some progress, moving forward, some advancement, that kind of energy. And then the unicorn, being a unicorn, for me represents the magic of life. And so you're being asked to, at this point in the middle of the week, say, what is the progress that I'm making, and how is that going to help you in terms of bringing more magic into your life? It's saying to, at this present moment in time, it could be like you need to be looking at all the magical things in life. Sometimes, going back with what I said about all is well, we can get preoccupied and distracted by, the everyday routine, going from here to there, always rushing to do this thing or that thing. And sometimes we get so caught up in I guess, the more mundane or the more ordinary things in life that we overlook the magic. And so the unicorn is saying there's magic around us all the time. It's just a matter of, are you taking the time to notice the magic? Now, the other thing about the horse or the unicorn that I'm seeing is sometimes in terms of life purpose, maybe since the angel and the unicorn are facing the life purpose card, it could be like at some point in the past, you used to be in touch with what your purpose was, and then somehow life took you on a different path or a different course or a detour, and you kind of lost touch with that. I'm looking at the energy here between the two cards, and it's saying, the idea of like you've fallen off the horse and now it's time to get back up on the horse. So it's about looking at maybe something that you were connected to, something that you felt filled you with a huge sense or a great deal of purpose, and it's about time for you to reclaim that. It's about time for you to get back up on the horse and to get back in touch with that. Now, the other thing about the relationship card, in the middle of the week, we're being asked to look at two relationships. Our relationship to spirit, because spirit, we are all here to serve some purpose or serve spirit in some capacity. So as you reconnect or connect more deeply in your relationship to spirit, that might be the thing that helps also inform you of what your purpose is and how you could either step back into that or move into it more fully. The other thing here is about your relationship to yourself. So this card says that your relationship to yourself and to spirit is your primary relationship, and that all your other relationships are formed on that. So in the middle of the week, you're being asked to really take a look at your relationship to spirit and the relationship you have to yourself. So, and doing that, also understand that wherever you are in your relationship to yourself and your relationship with spirit, that's exactly where you need to be. And there's a blessing in that, because going back with the All Is Well card, this card is saying like everything that has happened to you or everything that is happening to you right now in this moment in time is unfolding the way it needs to unfold, and that there is some purpose in it for your life. It's just a matter of you doing the work and really taking the time to look at what the blessing is. I'm seeing another card from this deck, and it'll be interesting if it is the last card. But there is another card in this deck called Blessing in Disguise. So I'm seeing that in my head. So we're being asked to look at what are the blessings in disguise. Sometimes we may be in a situation which looks like it's a mess. And so I always say, what's the message in the mess? So if you're experiencing something you think is a mess, then you could ask yourself, what's the message in that? What's the gift in that? What's the opportunity for me to learn from this experience? And, that could be informing you more about what your purpose is, or, seeing the bigger purpose of the situation or the circumstance. Now, relationship is also a card that can be about your relationships to other people. So in the middle of the week, be mindful of, especially if you're asking what's your purpose, and how can you step more fully into that, then pay attention to who shows up in your life, because they may be partly an answer to that prayer or an answer to that concern. They may be a person who helps you get more on the path of whatever your purpose is. You could realize that a person who shows up and you assist that person, especially if they need help, they could, through that act of giving them service, remember, because it says here that you're here to be of service, that act of service could be the thing you need to see, or the experience you need to have, that's going to help you step into that sense of purpose more fully. So the card reads, your primary relationship is with yourself and God. And when I say God, it could be God, Goddess, Spirit, unified field, whatever you language that energy for you, because some people, have personal issues with the word God. And so I always tend to think God can be called many names and they would all be perfectly fine. So whatever God means to you, that's what I mean. And every other relationship follows from there. To attract, heal, or balance a relationship, then snuggle more closely with your loving Creator. As you feel safe and loved within, so shall your other relationships bloom and prosper. So that's a relationship card. Now, moving to the card that's going to round out the week, we have Notice the Signs. And so I love this card, because now the angels are putting us on notice, like if we're really going to be intent on doing this, and then this card is just following what I just said about the relationship card. If we're going to make the declaration and set the intention, and then take the time and energy and the effort to do this inventory and ask the question, why am I here? What is my purpose? How can I serve? Then the Notice the Signs card is saying, pay attention to the signs that show up. This card says the angels are always communicating with us. It's just a matter of, like I said before, with the unicorn on the relationship card, is are we paying attention to the signs? Now, on the Notice the Signs card, there is an angel dropping a feather. And so I know I haven't had this personal experience, but I know that for some people, they actually see feathers. And so if you're one that sees angel feathers, pay attention to that and then ask yourself, what does that mean to me? Because it's not just enough about noticing the signs, it's about what does a sign mean to you, because it's not going to mean the same thing to everyone who had the same experience. You know, because angels communicate to us in a personal way, in a way that's familiar and recognizable to us. At least that's my opinion on that. So for some of us, we may see feathers. I know some people see coins. And so that is a sign of two things. So if you see coins, it could be a matter of you're getting notice that abundance is coming into your life, or that positive change is coming. You know, that's how I look at it. And then for people like me who are card readers, you may get a sign or communication through cards. The angels love to give me like little synchronistic things through the cards themselves. So however you respond or however you get signs from the angels, you're being put on notice to start noticing and paying attention to the signs. Because here's the thing, you can ask and you can ask Spirit, you can ask the angels to send you a sign, but then you have to be on the lookout for those signs. And so it doesn't do you any good, going back to the swirling energy on the All Is Well card, it doesn't do you any good to ask and then preoccupy yourself or distract yourself with all these things going on that are going to keep you from noticing the signs when they come. So that is notice the signs. So now we're going to take a look at what the final card is from the Archangel Power Tarot cards that's going to serve as the final piece of advice for the week. And now, turning my attention to the Archangel Power Tarot cards, I'm going to take the deck in hand, shuffling the cards once again, and I'm asking, what do we need to know in terms of rounding out this reading for final advice? I'm looking for a card to stick out. Pulling that card. So for the final advice, we have the Two of Ariel. Okay, so this card mirrors just what I said in the previous segment, looking at the three cards, especially when I was talking about notice the signs and about the idea of being preoccupied and distracted. Because one of the meanings of Two of Ariel is that we may have a lot going on and we may be juggling things. So that's one of the meanings of this card. Another meaning is that if we're looking at how we can step more fully into our life purpose this week, then it could be a matter of shifting things in our lives. Because for me, this card is about making a shift, but also too about what our priorities are, and there may be a shift or a change in our priorities. This card can sometimes suggest like what we used to think was important may no longer be so, and something that maybe we didn't give any importance to or give any value to is becoming more important. So this week we're being asked with the Two of Ariel to kind of maybe, in terms of doing the life inventory and conducting that, looking at, has there been a shift in our priorities? What's changed? You know, if the idea is that we're juggling a lot, then how can we create balance? Because the two is a number of balance. How can we create more balance? It could be that you may have too much going on, and that may be keeping you from that quiet time, that time of getting the answers that would help you with your sense of purpose. So I'm seeing that. So it's about how can we kind of maybe create a sense of balance with that. Now, for some of us watching this video, it could be that your sense of purpose may be more than one thing, because the idea here sometimes with the Two of Ariel is like we have two ways of doing something, or two resources, because Ariel is the angel of resources. So it could be like your purpose doesn't just involve one thing. It could be two things, and it's about incorporating those things or bringing them into balance, having them work together. So I'm seeing that. And as I'm talking about this is an important point to talk about when we're talking about life purpose, especially with Two of Ariel being the last card. Ariel is the angel of resources, like I said. And so sometimes the suit of Ariel in the Archangel Power Tarot cards can point to things like career and money and finances and things of that nature. So going back to the life purpose card for a moment, when we're talking about life purpose, we have to be clear on what does life purpose mean to us. I know it can mean one of two things, going with the number 2 here on the 2 of Ariel. For some of us, life purpose could be our spiritual path. And so if you're on your spiritual path, then your sense of purpose could be like, how can I step more fully into the path, or where is the path taking me at this point in time moving forward? It could be that. More commonly, though, when people are asking about life purpose, and I know this from my own personal experience, that some of us could be equating our life purpose with our careers. And so sometimes when we're talking about that, it could be two things. Not only what our sense of purpose is, or what is it that I've come to do here in terms of work, what is the work that I'm supposed to be doing, then it's also to, how can I have a meaningful career out of that? How can I make good money doing that? And then that would be where 2 of Ariel comes in, because it could be there is 2 things that you could be doing to kind of create dual income streams, or 2 sources of income. Or I'm seeing an old show, I'm dating myself, so for those of you who remember the show Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, I'm seeing that because sometimes the 2 of Ariel could be where we're juggling things, we're juggling 2 jobs. And so it could be, you could step into your purpose by moonlighting or doing that on the side, as well as whatever your kind of day job, I'm doing finger quotes around that, day job is. And so it could be, you work into your purpose part-time, and then you work on stepping into that full-time. Or somebody else might be in that space now where they've been doing their life purpose part-time and you want to do it full-time. Then 3 things. Number 1, Archangel Jeremiah, going back to Archangel Jeremiah to help you become more clear on that. Archangel Michael to give you the action steps, because for me, Archangel Michael is all about the ideas, getting clarity, and then taking the action steps. So if you're in that space where you're trying to figure it out, you could ask Archangel Michael for 2 things: clarity, and then what would be the next step. Because all you have to do is take the next step, and then the angels and spirit will support you in that, taking that next step. And then Archangel Ariel is about what resources do I need to have at my disposal that is going to help me step into that. Now, part of that could be you may need to clear away some of the stuff you've got going on in your life in order to step into that. And so it could be you're needing to make some choices or decisions about what's important. Is that, and those things, the question could be, or the barometer could be, is this serving my purpose or is it not? And that could be the defining question that would help you decide what's important and what's not. So I'm seeing that. But, the other thing about this too is you have to keep in mind that everything is all about balance. So yes, while it's good to be in service to other people, remember the relationship card before was saying you also have to honor the relationship to yourself. So your life just can't be about serving other people. You have to have time away from that, and you have to have time to honor the relationship you have with yourself, because as you take care of yourself and honor the relationship you have, you will also be in a better place to honor the relationships you have with other people, and they in turn will also honor the relationship that they have with you, because you are telling them through your demonstration that the relationship you have with yourself is just as important as the relationship you have with them. And if you demonstrate that, because I'm a big believer in that we teach people how to treat us. So if you demonstrate that you are important, that you matter, that you have value, you will be treated accordingly. But at the same point in time, it's like if you treat yourself that way, you will also treat other people that way. So that's the 2 of Ariel, and this has been your Oracle Outlook for the week using the angel cards. I am James Mitchell. I am signing off. I want to thank you for sharing this space here with me. I hope this reading has been helpful. I hope you found it insightful. I hope you found it informative. It was my intention that everyone who comes to this video receive at least one message. So I hope you got one thing that was important to you, that resonated with you, and if you did, that was what you needed to receive. I'm a big believer in, if it's only one thing, that's the one thing you needed. So again, I want to thank you for sharing this space here with me. I look forward to sharing this space here with you again in our next Oracle Outlook video. And until then, I'm wishing you a wonderful day. I'm hoping you have a wonderful week. And until we get together again in the future, take care.